I believe I cracked the code, but it's not even really a code to crack. It's just pulling back all of the BS to get back to why we really here, right? So this is pretty much gonna pull apart and dissect the whole idea of manifesting in general. I think manifesting is something that we created. Why by we I mean us as humans. That's something that we created. But like manifesting ain't really it's nothing. It's nothing. And we do this a lot. We did it with religion. We doing it right now with trying to find God. And I will tell you that I just got back to I was just writing down in my notes, just trying to figure out like, okay, what is it really behind manifesting, right? Is it that we had to be visualizing something that we want? Okay, well, when you do that and you putting something that you want on such a high pedestal, is like, and you telling your subconscious that you don't have it already, so essentially you will never really have it. Or even if you do achieve it, you're gonna always be looking at the next thing to be trying to manifest, what puts you in a cycle, right? So then the whole idea is, okay, well, how about we just start living from an internal, right? We picture the kind of person that we want to be and how we want to view life, and we essentially just start living that way now internally, and we stop focusing so much on the outside. We start just focusing on, how am I reacting to life? What is my view on life? Because essentially two people can be living the exact same life, going through the exact same circumstances, but one person can be happier than the other. Why? Because the mindset, right? Your reaction to how you view life. And that does work as well, right? That does work as well. And that is a better way of manifesting than trying to do external manifestation. It's really more so internal manifestation. But you're not manifesting, you just seeing life the way you want to see it. Before like usually we want to wait to have certain things on our outside, right? For us to start seeing life in a way that we want to see it, for us to start being happy and everything. So then the concept is just, how about you just be happy now? You just stop focusing so much on what you have or what's on the outside. The internal matters more than the external. And then eventually your external is going to match your internal, right? But then it get even deeper than that. Because it's like, how do you do that, right? How do you just be happy now? How do you just be everything, feel the way that you want to feel internally as if you have everything that you already have now? The only way for you to do that is really to let go of everything that you have on an external and essentially just be grateful for wherever you is right now. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, right? Because we got to have the things, right? The things are so special. The things are so necessary and needed. And I'm not saying essential things like food, shelter, water, you know what I mean? But everything else on top of that, we place those things as more important than us whenever we start to strive for that, because that was never the reason why we was put here. We were given free will when we were born. We were, through our minds, we have free will. And this is the way we decide to exercise that free will, is by giving our actual power to the objects that we created outside of us. So I want to just get to the point of the video, and the point that I just got, that I just was able to get to within my head as I was breaking this all down. And that as I was writing it down, God whispered in my ear, like, that's it. That's it. Right? We're not supposed to be trying to find God. We're not supposed to be trying to find the meaning for anything, because the meaning in God is already there. We like to place meaning on things so much, but the truth is, existence itself is the greatest blessing and the greatest gift that was given to us. Existence itself, being able to exist, being able to experience life, this is the foundation. How much do you value life itself? How much do you value your existence itself? That is what God wants you to get back to. It's not about even focusing on God. God doesn't matter in this sense. Yes, we can do our prayers, we can do all of that if we want to, but God is, and as I'm even saying this right now, and as I'm bringing this idea back to our attention, right? Because it's not nothing new. I'm just reminding. God is literally whispering in my ear, like, yes, God doesn't always make itself known, and we will never truly know God or the meaning for all of this. But it's a part of the game that we decided to play as humans, and it's okay to play that game. But we get to a point where we lose sight on the actual blessing that was given to us. We are here to experience existence, what it's like to exist. That is the foundation, and that is always the first and only real blessing, is getting to exist and everything that comes with it. We like to put stipulations on, this is bad, this is good. I'm not to say that it's not certain things that we don't want to experience, there's certain things that we do want to experience, but it's the whole of existence itself and life that if we able to adjust our lens. Why do my screens turn black and turn whatever? We're able to adjust our lens to what actually truly matters. Is not in the things that you want. It's not in the things that you have. Yes, the tools, the items, the food, shelter, water, all of that, these necessities for survival, right? All of that is just, I would say that the needs for survival is definitely something that, you should really want to have. But everything else is just the icing on top. It's just the cherries on top. But they should never become the main thing. They should never become the main focus. That is when you lose, and that is when you're getting away from 0 point. That is when you start to become ungrateful. That is when that is what God doesn't want us to do. Basically, God does not want us to stop losing sight of the fact that existence, being able to exist and come into this world, is the greatest blessing, is the greatest gift of all. The value of life. Where are you placing the value of your life itself? Fix that first before anything else. How much do you value life itself? Stop worrying about the people outside. Oh, people suck. Oh, the world suck and stuff. You're destabilizing, in that sense. Your whole cellular and energetic network is now becoming tainted and destabilized. Right? Fix your value of life. It doesn't matter what the fuck you experiencing. It don't. It's the fact that you get to experience. It's the fact that you get to exist. Because we got this thing, all right, how many sperm cells, like billions or whatever, trillions of sperm cells. I don't know the exact number, right? So don't harp on me on that. All right, put it in the comments if you want to. The fact that you was the one that got picked out of all of those sperm cells, out of all of the possibilities, you are the one right now with your eyes open, your senses available to you, your ability to even create your reality is available to you. You can get out here and touch things and move things and construct based on the creations that God gave us to work with. All of these things is special, but it will never, anything that you can do in this world is great, but the whole simple purpose of it is the fact that you get to experience it. You get to exist. Existence itself is the greatest blessing that God has given us. It is the only true blessing that God has given us. It doesn't matter what happens in your life. It just matters that you get to experience what it's like to be alive. Once you leave this place, you're going to be back with God. Right? Stop being so much in fear of that. Right? Like, yeah. Once you can truly stop fearing death, you can truly start to see existence for what it is. And I'm blind right now. I can't see. But I like to take off my glasses now because if not, the light be glaring at me and it is what it is. But right now I'm about as blind as a bat. I can barely see in front of me. But that's okay because I get to exist. I get to experience that, right? I get to experience all of this. I get to experience the I get to experience whatever it is that you want to experience. I get to experience being able to wake up in the morning. I get to experience having dreams. I get to experience taking a shower, brushing my teeth. I get to experience going to work. I get to experience sitting down and watching YouTube or watching TV. I get to experience what it's like to communicate with another human being. I get to experience having a relationship with a counterpart and having a partner. I get to experience going through heartbreak. I get to experience everything that has to do with existence. I get to experience what it's like to go through mental turmoil. I get to experience what it's like to go through pain. I've never broken anything, a bone in my body or anything like that, but I get to, who knows? All right. I get to experience going through all of these things. We got to pull everything back. If you truly care about living the best life possible, you got to pull everything back and stand on that. What is the value that you place on life itself? That is going to give you the exact life that you deserve. All right. If you keep focusing on what you have and what you want, you're not going to be seeing the actual blessings that God gave you. There's nothing wrong with going after more, but that always needs to be the cherry on top. That can never be the main foundation when you wake up. When you wake up, it should be, I am so grateful that I get to exist. I see the blessing in just existing itself. If nothing happened in my life as far as towards getting whatever it is that you want, I am okay with that, because that is not the purpose. The purpose is to exist and to live whatever life I live, whatever that may look. From that mindset, from that fullness, that wholeness of I'm already good just by getting to exist. Now start to go out and construct, basically, because we don't create, we construct based on everything that was everything that's in creation that was always here. This is why you will never find God. This is why God will stay hidden. This is why the deeper meanings of life will stay hidden. That was never the purpose. The purpose was to come here to exist because everything else is already solved. So I just need to make that video because it's kind of derived from, I've been getting recent dreams. You can call them messages from angels, whatever you want to call it. Right. And the recent one was, I went to a gas station in a dream. And in a gas station I went and I just bought some things, right? And it's interesting, the person that was like the actual teller at the gas station, like the cashier, was this famous UFC fighter named Alex Pereira. And somehow Alex Pereira knew who I was, and we like I admired the guy. So it was like, that was interesting, right? And I wouldn't even question it, like, why are you a cashier? I wouldn't even question it. It was just like, oh God, okay. It was an interesting interaction, right? And it's funny because they say that angels can appear in your dreams, and I believe that that's exactly what that was, because Alex Pereira was saying, like, you look so different. It was like even your ears and stuff like that, like, and things like that. And I was like you knew me or something. Anyways, I left from out that gas station, and I was walking around the parking lot, and this happened to be just a way bigger parking lot for the gas station that I went at. Things just kind of changed around. And that's, I see my mom's truck that I drove, and somebody was in it. Somebody stole it, basically. And I'm seeing them driving away. And I pressed like the little lock button on the key fob, and it like act like it locked the car as he was driving, but it would basically just alerted him that I knew he took the stolen car. So he just jetted off, turned, hit the street, and was gone. So now I'm just in this mindset like, damn, I just got my mom's car stolen because I didn't lock the door. So now I'm walking down the street. I got all of these things playing in my head like, oh God, like I just got my mom car stole, so I'm trying to call her and just thinking about I gotta tell her I got her car stole, right? And this can be a subconscious thing, right? Because I be forgetting to lock our car door sometimes. But anyways, within that, then I woke up, and it's been happening a couple nights in a row now, but of things happening, and then I waking up, and I'm like, okay, that's not my reality. Like my reality, like as soon as I woke up, my subconscious and my conscious instantly was like, oh, but I'm back here. Like I'm good. Like everything's good. And in that instant, I was so happy for my current reality. Which is different than when I'm actually woken up. I remember I'm here and everything like that. And my mind starts to shift immediately to, okay, what am I trying to get here? Like, what do I want? Future projection. What is it that I'm trying to get? And I lose sight of the gratefulness that is already around me within my life, right? That feeling that I have woken up to starts to disappear. Now I'm not so grateful that this is my current life. And I'm starting to think of, okay, but now what else? Like, I can't just be satisfied with this. What else do I need to achieve? What else do I want? All right, what's the life that I'm trying to create? All right, and I'm putting that so much on the pedestal to the point where I can't even be grateful for everything around me. And I am, but it's like at the same time, it's hard to feel that sometimes when you just so much focused on what it is that you're trying to create and what you want. And you might think, okay, well, once I finally create and get what I want, that now I'm good. But no, that's just a mental trap, because you're gonna be focused on whatever the next thing is that you want and what you're trying to create and bring in. So it's like you're never just gonna be satisfied with where you at. All right, you might be a little more happy, but then that's gonna go away too. It's gonna go away. Trust me. If you keep your mind focused on what you want, that will never go away. No matter what it is that you manifesting and actually bringing into your life. If you don't actually take a step back and just focus on what it is that I have, that is a much better, and being grateful, that is a much better way of going about life, or your foundation at least. And with all this, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with wanting things and going after things, but our mind is very volatile in the sense that it can start to easily put those things on a pedestal and make those things the most important thing when you start harping on them even more and more. Even deeper than being grateful for what you already have, how about we take it all back, right? And view life from a lens of, what if you have had nothing? What if you had nothing at all? So it's like, fuck even being grateful for what you have. Let's take it all back to, what if you have nothing? All you had is just your life. All you had is just you and oxygen. You had nothing else. That is the point that you need to get to, and like completely, that is the main value of how much do you just value you yourself and the oxygen that you're breathing in. And in doing that, basically, you're valuing just your existence. And within that, you're going to realize that's the whole reason why we came here in the first place, is to place our value of our life itself and existence on the highest pedestal possible. Anything else, any wants, even food and shelter, anything else comes below that, because the fact that you even get to open your eyes and exist is the highest level of blessing that God has given to you. Because once you leave, like when you leave, you leave. It's okay. That's okay. You don't have to try to achieve something great before you leave here. You don't put that on so much of a pedestal. Like, sure, you can go after that if you want to, but that should never become more important than just existing itself. And that's basically the main point of this video. So I'm all about trying to understand how to manifest. I'm all about digging deeper into the spiritual realm, energetic body, our thoughts, how we can change the reprogramming and stuff like that. But it just comes a point where we got to remember the foundation of all of this before we start doing all of this extra shit. And that's what this video is about. Just getting back to falling in love with the fact that you get to exist, no matter what happens in your life, no matter what circumstances you encounter, no matter what you came out of, what you came from, what you're currently going through. The fact that you got to get to exist, you got to see the beauty in just existing itself. Because I am telling you, you are so much more powerful when you're outside this body, that nothing that you go through here that you think is such a big deal actually really matters. once you out of here, once you back in your spiritual form, whatever we is when we out of here, right? All knowing whatever. If you could have a conversation with yourself when you outside of this body, you will realize that it doesn't matter what you're going through. It's the fact that you get to go through anything. And I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you got something out of it, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.